So it says dollar cost averaging can be a successful investment strategy for some people. Using this strategy, a person saves and invests the same amount of money on a regular basis, such as monthly, regardless of market conditions. The amount invested is invested regardless of whether stock prices are high or low. So that's what we talked about yesterday. In this example, it's going to be monthly, but it could be quarterly or yearly. But it doesn't matter how stocks are going, you put that money in. So directions, assume you use the dollar cost averaging investment strategy. You invest up to $200 on the first day of each month in a balanced mutual fund. Buying shares in the mutual fund provides some diversification and lowers your risk. So $200 the first day of each month. The table below shows the date of the investment and the amount you had available to invest. It shows the price of the share in the mutual fund on that date. Complete the table by filling in the number of shares you were able to buy and the actual amount paid. You will buy as many shares as you can purchase for $200 or less. After money or any money left over from the $200 will be placed in your savings account. The first one has been done for you as an example. So at $49, we were able to buy 4 shares, which is a total of $196. So at $46.50, we're also able to buy 4 shares. So 46.50 times 4, that's going to cost us $186. 48 shares at $4, sorry, $48 for 4 shares is $192. $49.75 times 4 shares is $199. $50, we can also buy 4 shares, and that's going to be $200. If I tried to buy 4 shares at $52, it would be $208. We only have $200 to invest, so we have to buy, we can only buy 3 shares that month. So 52 times 3, it's going to cost us $156. Remember, we cannot go over that $200 for each month. So anything over $50, we can only buy 3 shares. So $53 and $55 are both 3 shares. $50 or less is going to be 4 shares. If it was a lot cheaper, we would even be able to buy more than 4 shares. But in this situation, the cheapest it gets to was the $46.50. So we're going to fill in that last column. I'll give you guys a second to try to fill in that finish filling in the last column while I try to finish up. So $53 per share, and we bought 3 shares. It's going to be $159. $55 at 3 shares is $165. $50 at 4 shares is $200 even. $48 at 4 shares is $192. $47 per share at 4 shares is going to be $188. And in December, we also spent all $200 because it was $50 per share. So this is the idea with dollar cost averaging, that you're going to spend the same amount regularly, and regardless of how much the shares are costing you, you're going to invest as all of that money that you can. All right, going on to the second page or the back. So it says, after December 1st, your December 1st purchase, what is the average share price you paid? So we're going to look at the share price. It says round to the nearest cent. Average, we know, means add them up and divide by how many there are. So we're going to add up this whole column. So 49 plus 46.50 plus 48 plus 49.75 plus 50 plus 52 plus 53 plus 55 plus 50 plus 48 plus 47 plus 50. Yes, I expect to see that on your paper. It doesn't take but about 30 seconds, and this is part of your classwork for today. So you're going to write that thing out, and then we're going to divide by how many things we're adding, which in this case is 12 because we're looking at the share price for 12 months. So average, remember, means add them all up and divide by how many there are. If you have your calculator, you can plug these in also just to double check my math. We all make mistakes. I got $598.25. If you got something different, let me know, please. And then again, dividing by 12. So this is about $49.85. It's always after the 5 is a 4, so we don't round up, we leave it like that. So that's the average share price that we paid. Number 4 is a little bit different. After the December 1st purchase, how many shares do you have and what's the average cost you paid per share? So the total number of shares you have, that's going to be just adding this column for shares bought. So we had 9 months at 4 shares and 3 months at 3 shares. So 9 months at 4 shares, that's going to be 36. And 3 months at 3 shares is going to be 9. So that's 45 shares total. Yes, you could add this column 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. That's going to be the same thing. I just thought it was a little bit easier to break it down that way. And if this confuses you, just add this column. So then that's how many shares we have. And then what is the average share cost? So we're going to add this last column and divide it by the number of shares we have, which is 45. 196, 186, 192, 199, 200, 156, 159, 165, 200, 192, 188, and 200 again. All right, so again, not hard to do this, just tedious. 196, 186. So $2,233 divided by our 45 shares. So this is going to be about $49.62. $49.62. So the difference on numbers 3 and 4, this is the average share price, this column, and then this is the average price that we paid for all of our shares, the average cost per share. The reason this is a little bit lower is because on the months that it was higher, we were only able to buy 3 shares. So we're adding a smaller number there. So this is the amount that we paid, or our average cost per share. And this is the average share price that we paid. This doesn't take into effect how many shares we bought, and this one does. All right, so number 5, on December 20th, you sold all of your shares for $53 per share. So 45 shares that we have, and we're going to sell every single one of them for $53. So 45 times 53. So when we sell all of them, we're going to get $2,385. So we have to figure out how much profit that was. So the $2,385 minus the amount invested, which is $2,233. Or the amount paid. So if we added this last column, which we did right here, that's how much money we invested or we paid. So $2,385 minus $2,233, that is a profit of $152. That's how much money we made from selling these stocks. And so they want to know the return on investment. So this, again, is what you guys did with Mrs. Morgan. It's the amount you made, your profit, divided by how much money you paid or invested into it. So $152 divided by $2,233. Round to 1 decimal place, your percentage to 1 decimal place. This is about 0.068, which is 6.8%. Remember, you move the decimal 2 places when we're turning it into a percent. And then lastly, on this one, number 6, how much money did you have left over to put into your savings account? Remember, the original problem tells you any money left over from the 200 will be placed in your savings account. So there's a couple of ways to approach this one. We could make another column left over for saving. So if this first month we only spent $196, that means we have $4 left over for savings. Because 200 minus 196, 200 minus 186 would be 14. This would be $8. This would be $1. And we could keep going. This would be 0. And then we could add all this up. Not hard to do that. Again, 200 minus whatever this amount paid was. The other way to do this part is to think about how much money we had in the first place. So we had $200 every month. So 12 times $200 is going to be $2,400 that we had to invest. Right? If we add this column, all of these 200s, there's 12 of them, that would be $2,400. But we invested $2,233. So we had $2,400 and we invested only $2,233, which leaves us $167 in our savings account. Again, the other way to do this problem is to make kind of this other column here. And then add up all of these. If you do that and you want to check your answer, check my answer in my work, you should get 167 again. So 2 ways to kind of find this answer here. So this is dollar cost averaging. Remember, it's the same amount regularly. So here it was monthly, it could be quarterly, yearly, and then you invest as much of that as you can. We are going to do the math problems now from the book. They are all on return on investment. So if you understand return on investment and it's easy for you, you don't have to stick around. But a couple of things before anybody does go, we're going to finish up these last 3 problems. It should take about 10 minutes. But before you go, if you aren't sticking around, if this is easy for you, you can go. Tomorrow, all of your assignments are due by noon. So that's the notes in the bookwork from the 3 sections, the vocab worksheet, this worksheet we just finished, as well as these 3 problems. And then tomorrow between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., you have to complete your test. It's 15 problems on a Google form. That's going to be how I do your attendance tomorrow. And you can turn in all of your assignments today. I'm just looking at that test for your attendance tomorrow. But again, this is all on return on investment. 1 and 2 are pretty straightforward. Number 3 is a little bit trickier. If return on investment and the math stuff is easy for you, you are free to go. If you struggle with the math, I'm going to work these out. Stick around and we will get them done. So number 1 says, John bought stock for $350. A year later, he sold it for $385. What is his gain in dollars and what is his return on investment rounded to the nearest whole percent? So he sold this stock for $385 after he purchased it for $350. So that is a $35 profit. So his return on investment, remember, is the profit divided by the amount invested, which in this case is how much he paid, $350. And if you do this on your calculator, 35 divided by 350, you get 0.1. Remember, 0.1 is equivalent to 10%. Not 1%, but that's 10%. Questions on number 1? So number 2, Samantha sold her collection of model cars for $600. She had purchased them for $520 a year earlier. What is her gain in dollars? And what is her return on investment? So her profit, same idea. When she sold them, she got $600, but she only paid $520, which is a difference of $80 that she made. So return on investment here is her $80 divided by the $520 she put in. And the book says round to the nearest whole percent. So we just want 2 decimal places. So this is about 0.15 or 15%. After the 5 is a 3, so we don't round up. All right, then number 3 is where it gets a little bit trickier. There's just more to it. So Pedro bought 25 shares of a stock for $150 a share. He received dividends of $3 per share each year for 5 years. After 5 years, Pedro sold the stocks for $155 a share. What's his gain in dollars and what's his return on investment? So the first thing we need to do is calculate the purchase price. So he bought 25 shares for $150 a share. So the purchase price would be 25 times 150. So Pedro spent $3,750.
What are you doing, baby girl?
Then he sold them 5 years later for $155 each. So his 25 shares at $155. So $3,875. So his profit from selling these shares of stock
What? This is bullshit.
is $125. So he spent $3,750 when he sold them. He made $3,875. So he just from selling the stocks was $125. But remember, it says he also got dividends, $3 per share each year for 5 years. So dividends for 1 year is $3 for every share. So each year he would get $75 in dividends. Again, $3 per share each year. So the total dividends for 5 years would be 5 times the $75. $375. So then Pedro's total profit would be how much you made from selling them, the 125, plus his dividends of 375. So Pedro made $500 on these stocks over 5 years. So his return on investment then would be 500 divided by how much he put in, $3,750. Again, it says round to the nearest whole percent. Would be 13%. So he made $500, which was about 13% of his original investment. Any questions on those? If you need me to kind of go over anything else from this or anything, feel free to stick around. But that is it. Remember, all of these are due tomorrow by noon, as well as your attendance is your test tomorrow. Other than that, have a good weekend. Good luck on your test, and I will see you on Monday.
I hear the ice cream man coming.